my art-loving friends. I am so excited because in today's video we are going to put my artwork on a shirt. Okay, this may not be as exciting for you, but it is for me because I've always ordered custom t-shirts for my family here and there for the past 20-some years, 26 years now. And now I have a printer where I can just do it here in my studio by myself. Let me show you how it works. This fancy, amazing printer is by Procolored, which is branded by Epson. So technically this is an Epson L1300 DTF printer. DTF means direct to film, and I'll explain more about what that means later. You can see here, because it has to be shipped, it comes in a very sturdy crate. It's very heavy, so you're probably going to need help. I was able to move it on my own by picking up one of the handles and dragging it along the floor until I got it in my studio here. And I am able to lift the printer out by myself. It was pretty tight to the sides of the box, so you saw I had to kind of pull it away, but there it is. This one is bright pink. This is their K13 Lite, so Procolored K13 Lite in pink. They also have a white version. And because it's being shipped to you, it comes in 4 different boxes. So you saw some of those boxes under the table there, but this is what it looks like out on the table. This is an 8-foot table, just to give you a little bit of scale. And I realize you can't see the right end of the table, but it is a big printer, so you have to be prepared for that. You need the space for it. And this printer does require some maintenance, although there's amazing self-maintenance mode built into this thing. Thank goodness, because I travel way too much to have to do daily maintenance on a really awesome printer that I don't want to destroy accidentally. So you can see I have to just assemble some parts. It's so easy. The instructions are extremely clear. They have video tutorials taking you through everything. And I mean everything, step by step. I have never seen such a complete descriptions, video tutorials, all of that. It's very nice. It makes you feel very confident, even if you know nothing about any of this, to put all this together and get using it right away. I would say though, this printer is not for the hobbyist. Like if you are just doing this once a year for gifts for people, it's probably not a printer you should buy because of that maintenance aspect I briefly mentioned. You need to be printing with this fairly regularly. The fancy ink that you have to use and the film and all of that, the ink mostly, is pretty sticky. So it can clog up the printer if you're not using it fairly regularly. And that's even with maintenance mode going. So this here is the fancy so-called paper. It's not paper though, it's actually film. It's some kind of PET film, plastic. It's really neat. So you can see I tried to bring over my little Microsoft Surface Pro. This is the computer I use almost all the time. And I love it because you can just bring it anywhere, and I bring it traveling and all of that with me. And the drawback I have with this little Surface Pro for trying to run this printer is I only have one USB port on this thing. So you can see hanging off the right side of the computer is a cord with a little box, and that is a USB splitter. And I think that was giving me some trouble. Because I was having some issues with this little computer, I actually ended up moving the printer closer to my large computer, and it worked out just fine. Although I realize now what I was doing wrong on this little computer, and this printer actually will work through this USB splitter and this tiny little computer. So that's a huge bonus. If you only have some kind of portable computer, it can work with it, as long as you have the USB ports you need. This adorable thing you're seeing me unpack from Procolored is the heat press, and the one on the right side of it that you missed me unpacking is the oven, and I'll explain all of that. But this stuff is all so cool, and this is the Fluffy Panda branding. So it's an Epson branded by Procolored, I think branded by Fluffy Panda. I'm not really sure how it works, but it's cute, it's fine, it's adorable, and it makes me smile when I see it, so that's good. So here's the ink process. Ink has to be shipped separately because of laws. So you get it in a separate box and you have to shake it, but it does get pressurized when you shake it. So I encourage you to be very gentle with your shaking. Not gentle, but like maybe flip it over. Instead of like shaking it vigorously to get air bubbles, kind of flip it to the top, to the bottom, to the top, and then it won't explode on you when you poke the scissors through that foil seal, because I had that happen on one of them, the yellow, but the rest went very smoothly. They give you the funnels, they give you syringes, they give you everything you could possibly need to get this printer going. It's so easy. And like I said, the videos are so clear. It is not hard at all to figure this out. And there's the ink coming through into the ink heads. Isn't that neat? I got a lot of satisfaction out of that. The white was being sluggish, but I just had to hit the load print or something a couple more times and it went in. And then I tried to do a test print here with this cute little rainbow, and the print heads were working beautifully, but everything kept coming out blank. That was my only issue with this. So I got a hold of their tech support. Super easy. They are immediately responsive, and they had me try a few things. So sometimes if you get air bubbles in these ink heads, you just pull them out with a syringe. And this is the syringe right here you're seeing, not the first one you saw me use, that they include with your purchase just in case this happens to you. And then you just pull that ink out and put it back in the containers. But some of my ink got contaminated. But anyway, I finally got that to work. Not by pulling out the air bubbles. I actually had a fuse blown on my motherboard, but tech support was right on top of that. They're like, oh yeah, try this, and I got it working. And this is my first successful print, other than the rainbow, but I put the rainbow on where the tape was. So basically when they ship this transfer film to you and it's new, it has tape because it's taped shut, right? So anyway, the rainbow one was kind of trash, but it was just my trial. So you have to then print this. The print comes out sticky on the back, so it's wet ink where the white is, and you have to put this powder on it. I need a bigger tub for this, which I will locate in my house. I'm sure I have plenty. You have to run this powder over it so that it's attached to all of that white ink. Shake it off just gently, and then you end up putting this in the oven. But first, I was making sure I knew how to work the heat press. So I have a shirt I found in my Christmas bin that was blank, which was perfect. How good timing was that? I had a blank shirt in my Christmas tub. Didn't even know it was in there until I went to put my Christmas tree up. But it's great because you can use this heat press as an iron to make sure your shirt is fully flat before you even do this process. And I realized I had some wrinkles on the side, so I'm just adjusting that. I think the trickiest part on this whole process is making sure when you put your design back on the shirt that it's centered. So I'm going to look up some more videos on that. I'm going to keep using this, as you'll see, but it makes it very nice and flat. I felt confident that my design would go on smoothly. So one thing you have to be careful of is this printer cannot be in an area where there's a lot of dust flying around. Here's the oven. I'll talk more about the dust in a minute. So there's start buttons and it heats up, and you lift the lid to put in your design after you put the powder on it, and that sits in there I think for around 160 seconds. And when it's done, be careful you don't burn yourself. You just pull it out, and all of that white powder is now in an orange peel texture, completely adhered to your design. So you could touch this now and it wouldn't pull off any ink. So I'm re-ironing the shirt just to be safe, sticking my design where I think it's in the middle, and putting parchment paper over the top of it. It says to use some kind of heat-proof paper. And when it lifts, the film and everything is still stuck to it. You're not supposed to peel that off until it's fully cooled, but I'll show you how it's stuck to the shirt now. Isn't that neat? And nowhere did the film stick where there wasn't ink. So that's the coolest part, because on those home do-it-yourself iron-on transfer sheets, the film sticks, so you have to cut it really close, but not this one. So I grabbed a glass acrylic block from my stamping set and ran over it until it cooled down. That makes sure it is fully adhered to the shirt. And then, as long as it's cool, you have to make sure it's completely cooled off before you pull the film off. But you can see it's only sticking where the ink is. It is so amazing. Look how pretty that turned out. I made some mistakes with Photoshop, which I don't know if you'll be able to see or not before I put it on there. But here it is on me. I was blown away impressed. This is professional quality amazingness. I am completely enthralled. I love this thing. The maintenance aspect scares me a little bit, but I have let it sit for a week now in between doing some designs, and I've had no problems. So here is my artwork on a shirt. This is on an XL, so obviously way too big for me, but I wanted to show you because I wanted to try my artwork. There it is. That's what I promised you in the beginning. And then I'm going to do something on the front of this one, but I put my son's truck that he built from scratch and made into this beautiful machine on the back of this for him for Christmas. And I'm so enthralled, I bought a huge stack of blank shirts. Can you see that huge stack? I am so excited. The quality on this thing is out of this world, and it's very easy to use. Very easy. So yes, if you are interested in this, just know you need to be doing it regularly, not once a year like I already mentioned, but this is an amazing printer. I will have the details linked down below for you. If you would like to win this shirt, which is a size XL, enter the word giveaway, all one word, in the comments below. And remember earlier in the video when I said we needed to talk about cat hair and dust and stuff? There are at least two cat hairs stuck permanently on the backside of this image, but you can see them through the image if you look for it. So you have to be warned of that. If you want this shirt, it comes with a couple bits of cat hair immersed in it. I'm sorry. But anyway, I have to move this printer out of my studio where the cats kind of live and breathe every single day of their lives and put in a different, more cat-free room, which I am planning on doing very soon. But if you don't mind that and you want a free shirt, again, enter the word giveaway anywhere in the comment section below, all one word, no spaces, and I will pick someone randomly to win this shirt. Procolored is having a promotion the rest of December, or at least through Christmas, so definitely check out the links below if you want to know more about this and how to get it. It is so neat, so user-friendly. Their tech support's amazing. If you do have any issues, it is just not a problem. So if you have a business where printing on t-shirts or any kind of material like cotton, polyester, or blends is what you're looking for, this might be a great solution. Again, all the information's in the description box below. Thank you so much for joining me. I will keep you updated on all the shirts I make. Bye for now.